Sean Diddy Combs isn't just some business mogul that we saw for decades on red carpets and in music videos. Instead, Sean Diddy Combs is a textbook example of what it's like for a person to use their power, influence, and wealth to cover up destructive behaviors. You might be thinking, Kiaundra, that's harsh. He built an empire. Everyone in Hollywood has secrets. But the new Netflix documentary called Sean Combs: The Reckoning, produced by 50 Cent, told us a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't even know. So as a licensed therapist, I want us to stop viewing this as some simple celebrity and really focus on what it truly is. This is about how someone who has deep problems as a kid grows up to be an adult that is a bully. So when you don't fix your inner pain, it turns into so much more greed for power and control. So before we get into this, I want you to put in the comment section, what did you think about this documentary? I mean, tell me all of the tea because we got a lot to discuss today. So not only am I going to give my professional opinion, but towards the end of this video, I'm also going to share my personal perspective on this as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that too. First thing we have to talk about is his childhood. I love the fact that this documentary started there, right? I thought it was gonna be messy and it was gonna start from some drama between, 50 Cent and it's Diddy and all of these things, but no, it really took us on this journey. If we look at it, he low-key had a hard start. His mom was some kind of way because she really basically admitted to physically abusing him. I know, as black folks, we got whoopings and all of those things, but his mom said, I used to beat him. And even Kirk, which was his old business partner who used to have 25% of Bad Boy's company, said that he used to get beat badly. Even though he denied it, there was some physical abuse there, right? And he also talked about being out at 3 a.m. when he was about 12 years old. What's going on here? We know that his father was murdered and his mom was probably doing some things that she shouldn't have been doing either. And I don't want you to think that I'm making excuses for him, but I do want you to understand that how your childhood, your upbringing, all of those things plays into who you become as an adult. Things that they said that they used to watch on TV, the music that used to be played in the house, how they had a dance floor in their living room, all of this matters. When you were a young kid who was kind of like weird and quirky and you weren't like thug life like some of the other kids, like you try to look for power and control in any area that you can. What I seen kind of in his younger years, he was kind of the underdog. His endless drive to want to do well and be better. It wasn't just that. It was that he wanted to be the best. He wanted to be the biggest at everything. It was like he was creating this cover up for what was really going on inside of him. And this is why we also seen him have so many name changes over the years. Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Diddy Murray, Diddy Duddy Muddy, whatever he called himself, Brotherly Love, all of these different things. It's like, why are you changing your name every few years? The most interesting thing to me was that in his childhood, he went to Catholic school. He grew up in an environment where it seemed like faith was a thing for him, right? And so to stray so far from that in his adulthood is wild, but that's another conversation for another day. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he wasn't about that life, and we know that that's not the case nowadays. Before we move on, it has come to my attention that only about 4 to 5% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed to my channel, and we gotta get that number way up. Y'all will watch and comment and kiki with me in the comment section, but you won't subscribe. Let's change that right now. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button as well, so I can keep creating content like this for you every single week. Let's get back to it. Second thing that we have to talk about is his insatiable desire for sex. Like drugging people, having sex with them, doing all of the things that you did with men and women. He had this level of voyeurism as well. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a person who likes to watch other people engage in sexual activity. That's why he hired that sex worker and he used to make him and Cassie do a whole bunch of things while he just watched. He also told me that there's some type of sexual addiction there. It is not normal for you to go 18 hours, 3-4 days of just sexual activity nonstop on drugs, on alcohol, on E, on all of these different types of pills. The level of perversion here was insane. And even though I'm not going to get into it too much, all of the alcohol, the drugs, the MDMA, the ketamine, the E, the cocaine, all of the things that he used was a mask, was just to cover up all of the things that he probably felt icky inside about doing. He made a lot of poor decisions. And to think that he has daughters I'm sure he would never want someone to treat his daughters like he's treating women. I mean, he abused and manipulated so many different people, and he went on this rant of wanting to get and steal other people's girls and women. That's odd. Go find a girl for yourself. Stop trying to steal somebody else's woman just because you feel like you can. So the stories from Cassie, the stories from Joy Dickerson, and all of these different people about how he used to show their sex tape and record them and do all of these very heinous and wicked things blew my mind. This is classic narcissism behavior. Power, control, manipulating, never being wrong, feeling like you're God, having these mind controlled and playing these mind games with people. All of that was unacceptable. It was like this sick, twisted way of holding a secret over somebody's head in order to manipulate them to obey you and to do whatever you want them to do. Now, although Diddy made tons of money, I think at one point in his career, he was close to being a billionaire. I think his net worth years ago, not now, was about almost $800 million. He had this desire to have this greed, this fame, this notoriety, this influence that was so deep rooted. It never really stopped, even to this day. It was like this void there on the inside of him that we know could never really be filled. Money doesn't buy you happiness. This is why the word of God says the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is not evil, the love of it is, especially on the level that he loved money. The part that blew my mind is that he got money. So why were you going around not paying people for their work, screwing people over financially, your artists? People are struggling. Craig Mack and all of these people didn't even have money to live. They had kids and a family to support, and he wouldn't do anything about it. That's just messed up. Last but not least, I probably should have started with this one. Let's talk about all of the threats, the murders, and everything else that went around him. The way this documentary laid out the whole Pac and Biggie situation, countless other people who were shot, murdered, jailed, injured at the hands of Diddy or people who were around him. This doesn't just impact Diddy, but it impacts all of their family as well. I didn't even know about that whole B-ball thing with Heavy D that they did back in like 91 where 9 people died at that event. So even though Diddy denied all of these murders, killings, threats, all of these different things, he was still the common denominator. Death, harm, injuries, imprisonment should not be something that surrounds you 24/7 for decades. And I was cracking up when a whole bunch of people said Diddy had no real talent of his own. And so I think that was the driving force of why he was so fixed on Pac and Biggie, right? Because they did have talent. They were killing it. They were crushing it in their lane. And to have someone be more successful than you was a bad look on you, when he should have realized that 2 people doing 2 separate things on 2 different coasts should not impact you. That jealousy, the way pride is, will have you in a tailspin. The last thing that I want to talk about before I give my final thoughts is I'm wondering what will happen when he gets out of jail. I'm also wondering what will happen to the people who came forward and who was a part of this documentary, because they spilled all the tea. Okay, they gave us all of the information. The person who's been real silent that I was like, she knows more than what she's saying is J-Lo. But that's a different conversation for another day too. My final thoughts on this was that this documentary was top tier. It was done extremely well. No matter what you think about 50 Cent or what you think about Diddy, the timeline of events, the videos, the footage, the photos, the audio, the firsthand account, the witnesses, all of the receipts, he did not come to play. It was like they took their time with this and truly did their research, even to include the jurors, at least 2 of them in this, blew my mind. My personal opinion about this is that what's done in the dark will come to light. Pride comes before a fall. We're seeing all of that happen right now. Always going to be consequences for anybody's behavior. And especially when you're doing things on this level, I think Diddy is not only paying for the things that he's done, but this is just the beginning of him paying for the things that he has done to other people. In his mind, probably he thinks he's great, he's grand, he's kind, he's nice, he's helped so many people, he's changed so many lives, but that pride will have you blinded into thinking you're this perfect person when you're not. I don't know what's gonna come out of his career when he gets out. I don't know if he's gonna be changed and reformed even a little bit, but I do know that God is keeping record of everything that he is saying and doing, and he's gonna have to give an account to him. So thank you so much for watching another review on my channel. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Be blessed.